Right, this is part 3 of our look at the Axe FX3 Fender models. This one is going to be quite a lot shorter than the last one we did on the Tweeds because we're looking at the Brownface models. There's really only 3 specific Brownface models in here, which is the Super Amp, the Concert Amp, and the Vibrolux. It just so happens that the Vibrolux, if it's not my favorite Fender model in there, it's probably like my second favorite model in there. It sort of varies on the day. But yeah, let's get straight into it. This time I'm playing a Strat. I'm playing my YJM Strat. It's actually got a Warmoth body, but all the other bits are Yngwie official. You know, I'm sure he would be very upset that I replaced the body on it, but whatever. We're not here to talk about Yngwie Malmsteen. We're here to talk about these Axe FX3 Fenders. I have set all of these up as the Magic 6 settings to get started. I was going to say at default, but the default settings are everything at 5. And we're going to start with this Fender Super Amp, which shouldn't be confused with the Super Reverb, different things. Fender had this Brownface era thing called the Super Amp and the Concert Amp. And yeah, basically, my understanding is that not much was different between them except for like the stock speakers they came with. So let's just get straight into it. At the Magic 6 settings, what cab am I using? I've got this York Audio Deluxe one in there, so we'll just start with that and have a listen to all of them. Then we'll cycle back around and try some different input boosts and some different speaker choices. The Brownface amps to me are like, if you want like pristine Fender clean, these are the amps you want to use. They're just gorgeous. Have a listen to this. So that is at the Magic 6 settings. If we turn the input drive up, this one has heaps and heaps of headroom. With this particular guitar, it's not even breaking up, which is pretty amazing. So if you want the ultimate like clean pedal platform in your Axe FX, the Super's really good. The Concert Amp, again, very, very similar sort of tone. This one's, in general, a little bit sort of, no wonder why it sounds different. I had the mids all the way off. Let's have a listen to it with the mids at 3. Fantastic. Let's have a listen to the Vibrolux now. You'll hear what I mean about the Vibrolux sort of being a perfect Fender clean sound. Oh, I love this amp so much. It does break up a little bit more than the Super and the Concert, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, so that's with those York Audio Impulses. Let's have a listen to some stock cabs with this one. One that I like with this, if you want to try a 10-inch, is this Princetone Black 313A. Sounds like this. Another one that I've got loaded in here is this 4x10 bass guy. I talked about this particular IR in the Tweed video. Again, it's 10s, but it's got a different character. then the final one is a 2x12 59 double verb. Again, I use this in my tweed video. This one sounds great with the Vibrolux. So out of the Brownface amps, I mean, the Concert and the Super are really cool if you want clean, but for me, the Vibrolux just has way more character. It does get a little bit gritty and it hits that sort of edge of breakup. Another cool cab that you can play around with for all of this are the Vibrolux cabs, 210s. What's the one that I like? So this 160, there we go, based around the Sennheiser M160. This is a great sounding microphone all on its own. Have a listen. I think that's the one actually out of the stock cabs. That sounds amazing. Another thing that you can do with this particular IR, you'll hear that it's a little bit bass heavy, so bring a bit of bass out. I would add a little bit of mid-range and add a little bit of treble. With this particular guitar anyway, it's obviously going to work differently with different guitars. And I realized on the last video, I only used a Tele, so we'll have a listen to the Vibrolux with a Les Paul in a second. That sounds awesome. I'll just grab a Les Paul style guitar. So that's with a Tube Screamer style boost up front. And this is my STR guitar. It's got some PAF style pickups in the bridge position and a P90 in the neck. Hopefully it's in tune. It sounds like this. So what I would do with this is probably bring the mids down a little bit and the bass up and back the input drive off. Sounds like this. And it's just totally a different vibe. Like I said, I really should have used this guitar in the video about the tweed, so I'll have to do a follow-up video with that at some point. With the neck position P90, you get this kind of thing. So that's the Vibrato Lux with a boost. Without the boost, this is pretty sweet as well. That's always something I forget about, is a Les Paul style guitar with a Fender style amp. So that's the Vibrolux. And yeah, that pretty much covers the Brownface amps. Again, different overdrive pedal types. Actually, before we go, if you're using like a humbucker guitar, one of my favorite drives is the Blues OD, which is based around a Marshall Blues Breaker. Try these settings, turn the tone all the way off, and just go for it with a humbucker guitar. Sounds like this. So that's just one example of a drive pedal that I really like in front of these. I'm just in love with this Vibrolux model with basically any of the stock IRs or those York Audio IRs. I could spend days just playing on this, one of my main presets. When I'm jamming clean guitar is a Vibrolux. And one final thing, of course, is what I would recommend if you want to cop the vibrato and the reverb. Chuck a spring reverb block in front of the amp. Let's just start with like a small spring, which is located, where is it? Small spring right here. Just turn the mix down a little bit, and then we're going to make a vibrato by taking a chorus block and say, let's take the, I don't know, the Japan CE2. I'm just going to turn the mix up to 100%, and that turns it into a vibrato pedal. Cool little trick. So this is what it sounds like with both of those. And I know we've mostly been playing around with just the direct sounds, but as soon as you add spring reverb and some vibrato, or spring reverb and some tremolo, it's that sound. It's the sound of an era. One thing that I really like is the harmonic trem as well, which, you know, the Vibrolux didn't come with tremolo, but whatever. Let's take the tremolo pattern. We'll just set it to harmonic trem. And actually, I'll put this after the amp to sort of be a little bit more true to the original circuit. And this is where the real fun begins, when you start adding effects to these Fender amps. So that is an overview of the 3 Brownface models that I'm aware of anyway. If there's more, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, add some reverb, add some drive pedals, add a tremolo or a vibrato, and you can just go to town with like beautiful vintage Fender tones. So if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to hit subscribe and hit the little bell. I've got, at the moment anyway, I've got 2 other videos about this, but this will be a whole series on these Fender amps. And the next video is going to be all about the Blackface amps. So a lot more to go into depth there, but the same sort of things are going to apply. So if you do want to already go and play around with those, Magic 6 settings as a starting point, tweak from there, you know, add a blues breaker or a tube screamer overdrive, add some spring reverb in front of the amp, some harmonic trem after the amp, and you will be in tone paradise. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all around real soon.